Race 3 at Kalgoorlie is the Gay Robinson Memorial Maiden. The first horse we'll touch on is our favourite, Crochane. It is the big one. Stephen Miller, the trainer, and stable apprentice Cassey Martinan takes off 2 kilos.
Well, he's exactly that, Michael. Just on the inner section of the mounting yard, the big one. He's a big horse and stands tall, and he looks quite well and bright. Of course, he's backing up from last Sunday where he finished second to Treble Maker, an up-and-coming 2-year-old. And that was over 1100. 1200 should suit. And he was only just run down late. You'd think from barrier 8 he should punch forward to be right up over the speed. And there is a bit of speed in this with Ebony's Ace from an inside gate. But he's mapped to be right through the eyeballs of Ebony Ace. Should be right outside the leader in this, or it may even take it on as well. So big chance, the big one.
He's placed at 8 of 13 starts. You go back 5 starts ago, half a length off Boots Like Bruce, who's now a Saturday winner. So he does have the form on the board for a race like this. Horse 2 is I Shink of You. Winkers go on here for Helen Harding. Keshaw Durun in the saddle.
Yeah, she's had 38 starts, definitely had her chances and opportunities, and was down the track to Mr. Snips last time out, so it's a no.
Blinkers go on to Oakwood, horse 3 here for Paul Tapper and Christy Bennett.
Yeah, just sweating up a little bit, but does look okay with the blinkers on. Was well beaten on resumption. Looks to have stripped fitter and should be improved off that run the other day. So look for signs of improvement with the 3.
Ebony's Ace leaves, Ashley Maley leaves Ebony's Ace in the care of John Lugg now. Jordan Turner's in the saddle for this speedy Rommel filly.
Yeah, she's right up on her toes with the clerk of the course about to go out, Ebony's Ace. And she's very quick out of the gates. Gate 1, you'd think she'd have her skates on to lob right in front and anticipate the start, and with the big one coming across. So Ebony's Ace ran 4th. First look at the track to Aiden's Choice, beaten 3.5. Been left up here with Johnny Lugg, trainer on course, so expect improvement.
5 Galaxian Girl makes the trip down from Carnup for Dan and Ben Pearce. Tash Faithful rides.
Yeah, lightly raced 4-year-old Mahuda mare, and only had the 4 starts, and has a taking for firmer tracks. I think this track will suit this mare, and she's only had a handful of starts, but you'd think this would be a lot easier. 3rd to Loopy's Baby, 3rd to Gold Keeper, and then down the track last time out, so definitely in the mix.
6 Damn Me has been the target of good support. First up, no trial for Dion Luciani, $4.80 into $3.70. Michael Poy rides.
Yeah, demerit filly. She does go well fresh, Dare Me, and looked particularly well going over to the gates. Look, the runs have been spaced, so expect her to be quick out of the gates, Dare Me, and a major player.
Big price, the 7, Admiration Bay. Blinkers go on for Joe Forrest and Lisa Staples.
Yeah, didn't show much at its first start. Was down the track to Aiden's Choice, so looking to others.
Really surprised with this move. 8 Dutch Paw is a 2-year-old on debut. Only 1 public appearance to date. Ran last, but is $17 into $9.50 and was as short as $8 at one stage. Luke Fernie and Clint Johnson-Porter looking for a running double.
Yeah, 2-year-old Ducimus taking on the older horses here. Just important to note, in that trial they left the blinkers off, and the blinkers go on today, but unplaced in that only trial. Not much of a gauge, not much to go off of. Drawn a gate, low weight with a good rider aboard. Just pay to look at betting and also watch today, I'd say, Dutch Paw.
4 minutes until start time. Looking at this market, the big one is easy in betting. Opened up $1.85, is now touching $2.65. Unwanted so far. The money has been partly with 5 Galaxian Girl, $4.80 into $3.90. Similar move, $4.80 to $3.90, or the same move for Dare Me. Ebony's Ace is $4.80 out to $7.50. Some specking for Dutch Paw, $14 into $9.50. Oakwood, $14 out to $20. Admiration Bay, 80 to 1 was the opening quote. Actually was $126 at one stage. Has been trimmed right up to $26. And I Shink of You, solid at 41. How do you order the 4?
1 the big one, 6 Dare Me, 5 Galaxian Girl and 4 Ebony's Ace, Michael, ahead of the Gay Robinson Memorial. Race 3 out of Kalgoorlie. I thought the big one could spring the lids here from 8, and Ebony's Ace, very quick Rommel filly with no weight, barrier 1. So, look, they might sort of take each other on in the early part, but it's the place to be with this. I'd say it's a good 3. And the rail out 4, and that Sun is beautiful on the back, so it'd be really nice on the coverage of grass as well. So the big one to come across and sit outside of Ebony's Ace, Dear Me, also has tactical speed, and Galaxian Girl as well, and I think she'll find this a lot easier, Galaxian Girl and Ebony's Ace. But the big one for mine, from Dear Me, Galaxian Girl, Ebony's Ace.
1, 6, 5 and 4. The big one for Crashane out to $2.65 from that initial $1.85 quote. So there has been no support for this favourite so far. The money since we've started this coverage pretty much hasn't changed. Solid Galaxian Girl and Dare Me, both in from $4.80 to $3.90. And some support for the 2-year-old against the older horses on debut. Dutch Paw, 14 into $9.50. The big one is Crashane's selection here. 1, 6, 5 and 4. Just under 2 minutes until they jump for the Gay Robinson Memorial Maiden.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Thanks, Crashane. Yes, runners are behind the line here. And the big one on the drift out to $3. Equal favourite now with Galaxian Girl with Tab Touch. Then we've got Dare Me at $4.40 for Michael Poi. Ebony's Ace at $8.50 and upwards the remainder. $11 for Dutch Paw. Just note that Dare Me will not have a cap in this race, so just the Black Scully will be the headwear for Dare Me to differentiate it from Admiration Bay. Okay, runners coming forward now. Ebony's Ace the first to be locked away. Dutch Paw to come forward. The big one just holding favouritism, $3 ahead of Galaxian Girl at $3.10. So Dutch Paw joins the line. There goes I Shink of You. Okay, so Stewart's just advising that there's a red cap now on Dare Me. So Dare Me goes forward riderless. Michael Poi to jump back in the saddle. The big one coming forward now. Cassey Martinan in the saddle. Thanks, Stu. Yes, loading well here. In fact, we're almost complete for the running of the third on today's card. Stand by. Red lights blink away over at the 1200. Galaxian Girl to come forward and complete the line. Second favourite at $3.30 with Tab Touch. Favouritism is the big one, $2.90, and Dare Me at $4. So competitive racing, as we saw in the last as well, a 3-way go to that maiden event in race number 2. Okay, Galaxian Girl's gone forward. Stand by. Gates fly back. They're off racing. I Shink of You straight out the back door with Dutch Paw and Dare Me being restrained to the tail as well. It was the big one with early speed for Martinan, who shows the way early on. So the big one straight to the front. Galaxian Girl working into a forward position, followed by Oakwood. Then came Ebony's Ace, being followed by Admiration Bay, midfield in the clear by itself. They were followed next of all to Dutch Paw, Dare Me to the outside, and I Shink of You last of all. 700 metres to run as they head to the Charles Street side of the course. And it's the big one who shows the way. Out in front, leads out by 2.5 lengths. Now running second, Down on the inside, it is Ebony's Ace, and then they were followed next of all by Galaxian Girl, then Oakwood, who's wide. Dutch Paw was next, followed by Admiration Bay going back through the field. I Shink of You, the fence, and last of all, it's Dare Me. It's the big one on the point of the turn, who shows the way an uncontested lead. 2.5 lengths the good to Ebony's Ace. They were followed by Galaxian Girl, one pace, likewise with Oakwood. It's all the big one past the furlong pole, nicely clear. Ebony's Ace battling away, but this is going to bolt in. The big one breaks through at start 14 today and wins by 6 lengths. Second in Ebony's Ace, third was Dare Me, fourth in Galaxian Girl. Then came Oakwood, followed by Dutch Paw, Admiration Bay, and last in was I Shink of You. Number 1, the big one. Big win. Big win by this Stephen Miller trained gelding, a 4-year-old who's taken a while for the penny to drop, but that has just blown them away. Number 1 in the frame, the big one, Stephen Miller and Cassey Martinan combining with this So Secret gelding out of Jaw Dropper, a scenic mare, owned by C. Arnold, M. Arnold, G. Morgan, A. Sarich, S. Westwood, P. Carter, M. Haynes, P. Graham, K. Greenaway, and G. Cock. Second in, the 4, that is Ebony's Ace for John Lugg and Jordan Turner by Rommel from Venus Ebony. Owned by Ash Maley, Mrs. K. McTaggart and K. Parsons. Third in the 6, Dare Me. Got going late, was a long way back on the turn. Dare Me has run into a minor place for Dion Luciani and Michael Poy by Demerit from Get Fath and owned by the Laloma Farms Proprietary Limited Syndicate. And fourth in was the 5. That's Galaxian Girl for Dan and Ben Pearson, Tash Faithful. Margin 6 1/4. 6 1/4 by 2.5. So a big win to the big one. 110.77. They've come home in 34.26. $2.30 the return for the big one on tote. You were shopping better with fixed odds just before the start of the jump around the $3 mark. $1.20 the place, $2.30 the place for the 4 in Ebony's Ace, and $1.60 for the 6 in Dare Me. Okay, 1, 4, 6 and 5. But if you back the big one, you were sitting pretty at the top of the straight because you were never getting beat. Race 4 is next, the first leg of today's main quaddie. The Barnicot Plumbing Handicap over the 1100 metres. Start time 2:30, field of 8 to go around. And for the remainder of the quaddie, we've got fields of 10. So get involved with the quaddie today. Races 4 through 7 should be a good pool. Your early favourite for the next is Hidden Ruby at $2.25 fixed. Ahead of Mr. Snips, who of course bolted in at massive odds last start in a maiden, $3.40. There's been money for it. And then next best out to $8 about Dalhousie, $8.50 Bondi Rocks, and $9.50 for Mrs. Kangaroo. There are your chances inside $10 in the next, but Hidden Ruby holding the weight of money at $2.25 with Tab Touch. 1, 4, 6 and 5 interim numbers after the running of race number 3.